What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's H5N1 update, otherwise known as bird flu, for Saturday, April 15th, 2023. Starting off first with the United States. Wild birds detected, 6,542, and that is as of April 13th. Poultry affected, 58,653,031 poultry affected, such as birds. Humans. One human has been affected. That was last year in 2022 that happened. Jurisdictions with bird flu in wild birds, 50. States with poultry outbreaks, 47. States with reported human cases, just 1. And that was in Colorado, if I remember correctly. Here we go. H5N1 detections across the United States. And you can see here, 50 jurisdictions are infected, 992 counties. And here's the map. You can see there's a really large number of counties in the west, up in the North Plains, in the upper Midwest. Then in the Northeast you have a ton as well. Then in the South it's more scattered about. It's not as high as you see up in the Northeast. Like Texas, it's just very isolated. Florida, however, there's quite a bit of it spreading around in Florida. As you know, viruses tend to have an easy time spreading in Florida because they don't do much to stop them down there. It's a problem that's going to probably be with Florida for some time until a change in leadership or something changes in Florida to help slow the spread of these viruses. All right, here we go with affected in birds. And you can see here, along the I-95 corridor in the Northeast, there's a pretty, high number of counties that it's infecting. Then you get up here to the North Plains and the upper Midwest, you have a large number of counties. And on the West Coast, you have a high number of counties as well. So that is concerning. It is spreading. It has spread more since our last update. Luckily, it has not spread more in humans in the United States yet. But it has spread in other things. As you can see here, big cat, in other words, captive. Big cat wild. Yes, there's some cases of that here on the map as well. Bobcats, brown bear, black bear, bottlenose dolphin, harbor seal, gray seal, red fox, coyote, raccoon, skunk, fisher, Virginia possum, and others. So there's a lot of different animals on here that have now tested positive for H5N1. And you can see here the red fox, which is in this gray diamond. Quite a few of them up in the Great Lakes and even some up in New York State. So that's a mammal species that we have to watch because it's spreading pretty easily among foxes, if you ask me. Another one is skunks. Look how many purple dots you see. These are skunks. There's quite a few purple dots on here now, so that's starting to increase as well. Moving on to this. Chile detected their first case in a human. That was about a month ago. China, this just happened recently. China records first human death from H5N1. Now that is also bird flu, but it's a completely different strain of bird flu. It's not, I don't think it's as highly transmissible as H5N1. But we don't know much about H5N1, and one of those reasons is because it's from China. China doesn't like to disclose a lot of information. So that's how we end up with that. And then you have this. H5N1 has caused 6 cats in the U.S. to die. This is as of this past week. It was just up to 6 last weekend. Hopefully that does not go higher, but, it could. If you're a person that likes to let your cats outdoors, and, maybe they like to go out and be with nature, such as birds, just be careful. Just be aware if they go around birds, because you don't know if birds are carrying it at the time. And the chances are, if you live in the area where you're seeing some dead birds on the ground, we actually had that here in Philadelphia County. Last year, there were a couple of dead birds found in the park. And turns out, that could be H5N1. It's very possible if you see dead birds, that's what it could be. So just be careful if you're going near it. It's highly contagious, and you don't want to get any aerosols. You don't want to inhale it. You just don't want to go near it or touch it. If you're going to pick up a dead bird, please wear gloves, because there's several different ways this virus could transmit, and, the more precautions you take, the better. All right, there was also this. A dog in Canada dies of bird flu. This was published by B&O News 2 weeks ago on April 4th, and you know what? There have been a lot of mysterious illnesses going on among dogs in the United States. I don't know that they have been tested for H5N1, but they should be, because they can't figure out what it is, and you know what? They need to rule it out as a possibility, and the only way to do that is testing. But what if it is H5N1? You don't know until you test for it. It's just like the COVID pandemic. People are saying, oh, it's just a summer cold. How do you know? Did you test for COVID? Then until you tested, you don't know. And even at that, we know the testing, at least for COVID, is not the best. All right, here we go. The details on that Chile human case. A man in northern Chile has tested positive for H5N1 bird flu. The health ministry reported on Wednesday amid growing concern about the strain of avian influenza which has spread around the world. And it turns out the man was a 53-year-old man from the coast city of Tocopila. Is currently in serious but stable condition with severe pneumonia. And that seems to be something that we're hearing, at least with the human cases. They're getting severe pneumonia, at least with the one of the cases where they died. I believe the person had pneumonia. It was not immediately known how he was infected. So we don't know. Is he a farmer? Did he have interaction with birds or poultry? We don't know. And now this. The bird H5N1 is killing thousands of sea lions in Peru. We've reported on this in our previous updates. And yeah, it's really getting serious. It's now up to 3,487 sea lions, which is 3.29% of the total number, as well as 5 far less common for seals. So yeah, this is really serious. I mean, it's increasing there. We haven't seen an update out of this in a while, though, because this right here, I believe this article was posted back on, Tuesday, March 21st of this year. So that's almost 3 weeks ago, maybe a little over 3 weeks ago, and yeah, it's still increasing. So hopefully we don't see another update where the number has increased further. And it seems to be growing among that species. And if it can grow in a species, as we know with COVID, viruses can mutate. And how about that? Here you go. Associated Press. Bird flu. Scientists find mutations. Threat is still low. So scientists are now finding that the H5N1 virus is able to mutate. Yeah, surprise. It's kind of like COVID again, where you get multiple mutations. And we don't know, are these mutations more transmissible? Are they more severe in animals? What if a human gets one of the mutations? It's something we have to watch. And that's why we do these updates, because this is just something that we're watching. It's not a high risk for humans right now. It's not rapidly spreading among humans, but it's continuing to spread among animals. And as long as the virus still exists and is spreading in animals, there is always the risk that it could, spread over to humans, and eventually human-to-human transmission could be a threat down the line. It's not a threat for today, but it's something we're watching to be prepared for the future, which is why we continue to do these updates. We'll have another update on this down the line as we find out more information, as more information is gathered on this. Until then, there are some simple precautions you can take. If you're a bird activist, and this may sound silly, consider masking around birds. If you're a farmer, you have livestock, you have poultry, or you deal with animals that could be potentially infected by bird flu, it's a good idea to mask and wear gloves if you have to touch the animals, because the close contact that you have could put yourself at risk. And if enough humans do get exposed to it from animals, then we do run a greater risk of developing human-to-human transmission, which, if we take the proper precautions now, we can stop that from occurring before it even starts. Alright, thanks for watching this H5N1 bird avian flu update. We'll have another update about this in the near future. Later today, we will have the COVID pandemic update. If you like this content, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button down below. I will see you all again next time. But until I see you again next time, Stay safe, everyone.